Minneapolis will continue to be a safe haven for undocumented immigrants.
Outside of them, guess what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not throwing anybody out of the country. I'm not deporting anybody.
Over the Me Too movement, we've had this dialectic even prior to the Me Too movement. This notion
How do you fight it?
This notion
I think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can outrun them. But
And we are back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, people. You know it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us. Now, y'all, first thing I want to say today is happy birthday to me. Because today, the best day of the year, April 9th, is my birthday. And in case you are wondering, I am 45 years young today. So happy birthday to me. This is my real birthday, by the way. All right, y'all. So today what we're going to talk about is your boy, the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. And also we're going to talk about the Minneapolis mayor because they kind of have something in common. Both of them want a whole slew of people who are not in the country legally. They want them to come to Minnesota. They want them to come to Minneapolis. They want them to make that their home. And they want to tell the federal government, hey, if you're looking for these people, tough luck. We are not going to help you find them. But as you will see in this video, there are sheriffs in Minnesota who are saying, hold up, that's not right. These people don't have permission to be in the country. We shouldn't just be letting them walk around and do whatever they want to do. Okay, so that's the debate. So let's get into this article published by Fox News through MSN. Blue state sheriffs combine forces to fight back against sanctuary laws. A group of 5 Minnesota sheriff's offices inked cooperation agreements with U.S. Immigration and Customs, bringing an opposite approach to immigration enforcement in a state with widespread sanctuary policies. Y'all, in a few, y'all are going to see the Minneapolis mayor. I mean, this guy, look. Oh, and by the way, to all my Minnesotans, to all my people from Minneapolis, to all my people from St. Paul, I have much love for y'all. I've spent a considerable amount of time there. Much love. If we disagree on this, we just disagree, but no hate, okay? So now, Minnesota's Cass, Crow Wing, Freeborn, Itasca, and Jackson County Sheriff's offices have all entered 287G agreements with ICE since President Donald Trump took office, allowing the Federal Immigration Agency to delegate some authority to officers to perform immigration enforcement actions. All right. The agreement allows for increased cooperation between local law enforcement agencies and ICE, including programs that put focus on identifying and processing illegal immigrants that are already in custody and are eligible for deportation. Another program allows for a, quote, task force model, quote, which brings the local agencies in to serve as a force multiplier for ICE, the report said. Now, some local law enforcement officers will also have the opportunity to participate in ICE training sessions, et cetera, et cetera. Now, y'all, the reason why this is important or this is significant, you're going to see here in a second. The governor of Minnesota, he's a tough guy. He can kick most people's He said so himself. You'll see that here shortly. And then the mayor of Minneapolis, he wants everybody to know that if you are in the country without permission, come on over to Minneapolis because he wants to welcome you there. Y'all, what else? What can I say about this stuff? The agreements come in a state that has seen widespread use of so-called sanctuary policies that limit or prohibit a local jurisdiction's ability to cooperate with federal immigration authorities, with the latest Center for Immigration Studies data showing 12 Minnesota counties have passed rules limiting cooperation with ICE. So as you know, as I've already said, we have tough guy Tim Walz, who is a tough guy, and he is the governor of Minnesota. He wants you to know how tough he is, y'all. Let's take a quick, he's not tough on immigration though. He's tough on, you'll see. Let's take a look at this clip. He says he can kick your butt.
With your broader frame and the values. But I think it's just this idea. I think the biggest and the most alarming part of these polls is that people feel we're out of touch.
Yep.
And despite what I thought was an incredibly effective campaign in terms of highlighting the needs of the American people, I thought just the importance of having you on the ticket to articulate exactly what you just articulated really reinforced and underscored the benefits of someone that is able to, through your lived experience and through your eyes, be able to express what I think the vast majority of people embrace. But again, they're still not embracing what we're selling.
You think it's this idea, Gavin? You think it's because we appear weak? Do you think it's...
Yeah. Well, I remember Bill Clinton said it better than anyone years and years ago after shellacking. Given the choice, I'm paraphrasing, the American people will always support strong and wrong versus weak and right.
Because I saw it for me, and not that I spend much time thinking about this, and it just baffled me how much time they spent trying to attack me that I wasn't like masculine enough in their vision. Like, I would have never believed this. I saw Fox News did like a couple days because I used a straw. And I'm like, hell, man, what am I... How else do you drink a milkshake type of thing? But they focused on it obsessively, which I think, again, is their obsession, their weirdness. We buy their frame on these issues of sexuality, but their whole thing is that they spent all their time, these guys, on Fox News, that Walz is gay, he's not masculine, he doesn't coach football the way he should, or doesn't. What do you think about this? I mean,
it's what this
misogyny in here that's happening.
Yeah, well, but this notion of masculinity is deeply part of it. That's one of the. I mean, I think it goes. And you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement. We've had this dialectic even prior to the Me Too movement. This notion of fight it. This notion
I think I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
No.
I'll be honest though, y'all. It would be very tough to have your masculinity questioned by millions of people over months and months and years. That would be tough. So I feel for Walz. All right. I'm not gonna question his masculinity, but I don't think he could take me though. Anyway, y'all, if we really want to get into the real kind of far out there Minnesotan politicians, Walz he's just the appetizer. He's just the warm up. When you get to Minneapolis, Mayor Frey, y'all, or Frey, not sure how you pronounce it. However you pronounce it, just take a look.
So next we are going to hear some quick updates, maybe a minute or two from our local state and county electeds. First, we're going to hear from the mayor of Minneapolis. Please help me welcome Mayor Jacob Frey.
Can we start by giving a round of applause to Congresswoman Omar because she has had the courage to have this kind of town hall. Far too many have not had the guts to engage during times of chaos and crisis, and I want to thank her for doing exactly that. Thank you, Dr. Palmer. Thank you to the Washburn community. Thank you to the city of Minneapolis broadly, and thank you to those that are standing here behind me. Everyone in this room knows that we are in unprecedented times, and everyone knows that what this administration is doing is both deplorable and inhumane. And at the same time, we here in the city of Minneapolis need to stay a place where our values are met. We need to be a place of compassion, of integrity, and justice. And I got a letter just a few weeks ago that was on my desk, and it said that all federal funding would cease from the federal government. That's about $70 million that goes to things like emergency management, to our bomb squad, to shelters and affordable housing. It's work that we need to do, core functions of a city government. And I want all of you just to know exactly where we are as far as our neighbors go. Minneapolis will continue to be a safe haven for undocumented immigrants, for our trans community. Regardless of who you are or where you come from, Minneapolis is a place where you should be proud to call home. And notwithstanding a whole lot of chaos that's happening right now at the federal level, I want you all to know that we're going to stand by our values. Minneapolis is producing 8.5 times more deeply affordable housing than we ever have before. We're providing the kind of comprehensive safety that people have asked for, and just so everybody hears it directly from me, crime is dramatically down right now. And so you don't need to listen to the talking heads. You can look at the statistics, and in this city, by the way, facts matter. We listen to experts, we trust the data, and we love our city more than our ideology. And because we're so committed to this city, we're going to be standing with all of you every single step of the way. And so in conclusion, I know that there's a lot of chaos that's happening right now in our city, but what gives me a whole lot of hope right now in this room is that you all are strong. We are strong. We're going to stand up against these injustices that we're presently seeing, and thankfully, we're going to stand together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor, and that is right. We are better together than we are divided.
Y'all, I would never vote for somebody who did not say clearly and unequivocally that he or she's going to put citizens, even permanent residents, first, y'all. I don't want anybody to be a second-class citizen, but you know the good thing? Citizens are citizens, right? People who are not citizens are not citizens. Citizens are the ones who can vote. We're the ones who you have to respond to first. When there are extra resources, when there's an emergency, of course, there are exceptions, right? In an emergency, you aren't checking people's passport to see who's a citizen. You're helping everybody. When it's freezing outside, yes, you're going to try to provide some shelter. In my opinion, even to people not in the country legally. I know many of y'all disagree with that, but we have to be human, okay? Come on. But in general, don't take all the citizens' money and give it to people who don't even have permission to be here. That's trespassing. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. But y'all, you know, this is such an easy issue, and you have people constantly dropping the ball. Like your boy, Stephen A. Smith, y'all. He seems like he's trying to gear up for a run at president. This is really baffling to me. No hate on Stephen A. Smith. Respect the hustle, respect the game. But I don't see him as a presidential candidate I would want to vote for. Again, no hate. It's just I don't see him in that lane. This is such an easy question. And even somebody like he is fumbling and dropping the ball on something so easy. Take a look at his recent comments.
Immigration, I tell you this right now. See, crazy as it sounds. Outside of the criminals, because we don't need lawless. First of all, lawless Americans should be in jail, and lawless people who ain't Americans should be out of the country. Outside of them, guess what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not throwing anybody out of the country. I'm not deporting anybody. You know what I'm doing? Outside of those criminals, I'm leaving others alone. But the border's shut down. Nobody comes in. Nobody. Until we get our house in order. For at least the first year. Shutting it down. Got a year, got to get our house in order. That's how I look at it.
But there are some very well-informed and voices that I like to listen to, even if I don't agree 100%, you know, citizens who are standing up and making their voices heard. And Miss Carter Walters out of Chicago, she has risen to the forefront. Again, am I saying I have listened to everything she has to say? I haven't heard all of her stuff, so, you know, but I know she's advocating strongly for the citizens of Chicago to be put first, and I agree with that, okay? So as I was making this video, I just happened to see that she's having a congressional testimony right now, or she had it just minutes ago. So I'm like, hey, even though this is kind of off the topic of Minnesota, it's totally on topic because she's going to talk about the immigration issue, and I think she's worth a listen. So we're going to put that on this video as well.
Thank you for your testimony. I will next hear from Ms. Carter Walters.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman and esteemed members of the subcommittee. And thank you to President Donald J. Trump, the people's president, for giving Chicago Flips Red our first platform, and to the subcommittee for the opportunity to speak truth in the people's house. We proudly stand with our president to bring his message to the Black American community and expose the lies pushed by the Democrat Party and the fake news media. We are here to confront the reality of sanctuary cities. Despite the word sanctuaries, these cities are anything but safe. Chicago has claimed the title for years, and now we're drowning in the consequences. Lifelong residents are pushed aside, schools are overcrowded, crime is out of control, and affordable housing is vanishing. This crisis exploded under Biden and were worsened by the reckless, agenda-driven leadership of Lori Lightfoot and Brandon Johnson. They didn't just ignore the collapse, they fueled it. In December 2023, a few aldermen tried to give us a voice, but the mayor and his allies used systematic stunts to block the vote on a non-binding sanctuary city referendum, silencing Chicagoans and stripping us of our right to choose. Every elected official swears an oath to serve their constituents and uphold the Constitution. Brandon Johnson has failed. He's dismissed that oath in his obsession with keeping Chicago a sanctuary for illegal aliens. He's driven our city into a $1 billion deficit, handed out shady non-bid contracts, and funneled over $6 million into services for illegal aliens. That's why we demand a full forensic audit focused on migrant-related spending. This isn't mismanagement, it's organized looting of taxpayer dollars. ShotSpotter, a life-saving gunshot detection tool, is gone. Hyde Park now bears a permanent 720-bed shelter as illegal alien shelters multiply all over our city. Tax increment financing, known as TIF, meant to revive struggling areas, are being embezzled. Our kids aren't learning to read while the city teachers cater to non-English speakers. These are deliberate acts of neglect, justified by Chicago's sanctuary city status. Lori Lightfoot licked the fuse with executive orders, and DEI Johnson poured gasoline on the fire. Field houses has been taken, police stations overrun with illegal aliens in tents and are on the floors, leaving officers demoralized. My husband, a retired CPD officer, saw it all. Violence, disease, measles and tuberculosis outbreak, prostitution, and bed bugs that reached our home. Since 2025, over 51,000 illegal aliens have flooded into Chicago. The city's answer? Blend migrant and homeless shelters under the One System initiative and hope no one noticed. Homelessness has jumped by 207% as 2,100 beds go to illegal aliens. When state funding ends in 2025, corrupt insiders will pass the contracts among themselves. This isn't policies, it's racketeering. My husband and I are tax-paying business owners. We did everything right. We invested in the Opportunity Zone, thank you, President Trump, applied for grants, and we were denied. Yet 140,000 illegal alien-run businesses were funded without question. Law-abiding citizens are being replaced to serve a political machine. MS-13, Trendy Agua, they're here. Their graffiti marks our neighborhoods. New gangs, the Venezuelan Disciple, is forming in our neighborhoods. One shelter gets 20 to 30 police calls daily. Drug use, harassment, loitering, and violence have turned parks, sidewalks, and porches into no-go zones. This isn't immigration. This is an invasion. Sanctuary cities do not protect us, they abandon us. The citizens of Chicago, we demand a full forensic
Ms.
audit
Carter-Walters.
of every dollar tied
Ms.
to
Carter-Walters, very much appreciate your testimony, but we have to limit it to 5 minutes. But you'll have an opportunity to expand on those remarks during the question period. So appreciate your testimony.
Okay.
Y'all, what we have to remember is mass migration is an experiment that many countries across the world have been trying over the last 20 plus years. And I am going to say now, I'm confident that it has failed. But there has been so much movement of people that the consequences of it, the repercussions of it, may very well be unavoidable, and the world may have permanently changed. So as a policy, it's a failed policy. But as an event or a series of events that will continue to affect the world, y'all, this is the world we live in now. England, Germany, United States, Canada, countries across the world, even Caribbean countries, even the Dominican Republic, where my wife is from, they have had mass migration into the Dominican Republic, even as the Dominicans try to come to the United States. So it's just one of those things that we're going to have to live with. We might not like it, but that's just the way it is. I'd like to hear what y'all have to say. Y'all have been so great with giving comments. Today you can comment happy birthday, right? Because it is my birthday. And even if you watch this afterwards, still say happy birthday because it feels good to see it. Drop a comment down below, but before you do, please stop. Give me a birthday share, okay? That's what I want for my birthday. Please share this video out with somebody. Hit the share button, put in their email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or put them all in. Share the video out. Of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Want to thank y'all for watching today. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.